It was dubbed the War to End All Wars. Although it didn't live up to that expectation, it was the first war that nations from across the globe would get engaged in. But who was responsible for igniting World War I? Dive into the secrets of the past, where political games and alliances were like a puzzle waiting to be solved. Who lit the spark that set off a global storm? Uncover the hidden story that changed everything. The roots of this major conflict can be traced back to an assassination and a chain of questionable decisions. Rather than solely blaming one person or country, responsibility should be distributed among various actors. The war, claiming millions of lives, could have been avoided with proper measures, but what was the reason that it took almost 4 years for it to end? We'll unravel all the mysteries in this video, starting from the initial ignition and then the consequences everyone had to bear. We'll unravel unexpected twists and turns that paved the way for a significant catastrophe. So, stay tuned until the end of this video for some surprises and intriguing details not covered in your history textbooks. The event that ignited Europe and the rest of the world was the assassination of Austro-Hungarian Prince Archduke Franz Ferdinand on June 28, 1914 by a 19-year-old Serb nationalist student. This act led to the loss of over 20 million lives and the collapse of ancient empires. While it may sound sensational that a single event triggered such a massive conflict, it's crucial to understand that preventing just this incident wouldn't have necessarily avoided the war. Large-scale wars like these have complex causes. However, this particular event served as a spark in a long and complicated chain of events. World War I spanned from 1914 to 1918, involving nations across Europe, Russia, the United States, and the Middle East. It reshaped geopolitical dynamics and fostered lasting socio-economic changes. It's important to note that the conflict's main factions were the Central Powers, comprising Germany, Austria-Hungary, Italy, the Ottoman Empire, and Bulgaria, facing off against the Allied powers, including France, Britain, Russia, Portugal, and Japan. The United States later joined the Allies. The catalyst for the war can be traced back to tensions between Serbia and Austria-Hungary. Eager to expand its territory, Serbia, still reeling from the Balkan Wars, harbored aggressive sentiments. Serbian nationalists wanted to bring together the South Slavs of Austria-Hungary. They were very proud of their country and wanted to show it off. This led to extreme nationalism, which eventually led to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand on June 28, 1914. He was next in line to become the leader of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. At 11:20 a.m. that day, in Sarajevo, Bosnia, Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian extremist linked to the secret society called the Black Hand, fatally shot Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie, Duchess of Hohenberg. The assassination was the spark, yet numerous factors contributed to the volatile situation. The other factor was Kaiser Wilhelm II, the leader of Germany. He played a shadowy but significant role, potentially sharing blame with Gavrilo Princip for igniting World War I. Kaiser Wilhelm II was the ruler of Germany during that time and was known for his hot-tempered nature. Fearing potential attacks from France, Britain, or Russia on Germany, he aimed for an economically and militarily dominant and influential Germany in Europe. Concerned about Russia and Great Britain gaining more power, Wilhelm II allied Germany with Austria-Hungary. Recognizing that Austria-Hungary's conflict with Serbia could draw in Russia and France, Wilhelm II secretly funded Austria-Hungary's efforts to suppress Serbia. He granted Austria-Hungary a blank check, meaning Germany would financially support their war effort, leveraging their prosperous economy to ensure Austria-Hungary's success. Germany's support enabled Austria-Hungary to launch a war against Serbia following the death of their heir. They presented Serbia with an ultimatum containing harsh terms, leaving war as the only viable option. It is indisputable that these aggressive decisions by Germany and Austria-Hungary led to the outbreak of World War I because they were intended to bring about war. However, could the entire conflict have been avoided if other nations had made better decisions? Every significant power had a hidden motive up its sleeves. For instance, Russia back at that time was supporting Serbia but had ambitions beyond merely aiding an ally. Russia quickly mobilized its military when Austria-Hungary showed aggression toward Serbia, indicating a lack of interest in diplomatic resolutions. Russia mobilized before Germany, presumably to gain more territory and consolidate its power. On the Triple Entente side, France also played a strategic role behind the scenes. France encouraged Russian aggression toward Austria-Hungary and Germany, aiming to shape the region as per their vision. Wary of Germany's power, French leaders saw an opportunity to divert German attention towards the Eastern Front. Britain, with a dominant navy and global empire, saw Germany's rising power as a threat. Fearing a challenge to their dominance, British leaders hesitated to engage in diplomatic talks and instead encouraged Russian aggression. Britain's motives included a fear of losing naval and financial supremacy if Germany continued its ascent. Despite winning the naval arms race, Britain maintained an inferiority complex regarding Germany, contributing to the geopolitical tensions. Great Britain's avoidance of mediation discussions and encouragement of conflicts suggested ulterior motives. The belief that involvement in more conflicts would weaken Germany prevailed, reflecting Britain's anxieties about German threats. Notably, if Britain genuinely wanted to prevent war, participating in mediations would have been crucial, raising questions about their underlying motives. Now, let's shift our attention to the Triple Alliance. Austria-Hungary, a key player in the Triple Alliance, sought more than just retaliation. Their primary goal was territorial expansion. Austria-Hungary aimed to enlarge its empire by acquiring additional territories and populations. More land equated to increased resources and a larger pool of men for military purposes. Serbia had been on Austria-Hungary's radar for some time, and the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand provided the perfect pretext to turn their territorial ambitions into reality. So World War I unfolded rapidly within a week of the assassination, with Austria-Hungary attacking Serbia. Germany's strategy for the war was known as the Schlieffen Plan, aiming for a war on two fronts against France and Russia. The plan involved concentrating most of Germany's army in the west to defeat France first, and then shifting forces to the east before Russia could fully mobilize. Japan sided with Britain in Asia, seizing German colonies in China and the Pacific. The Ottoman Empire, a historical enemy of the Russian Empire, joined the war on the side of Austria-Hungary and Germany, opening fronts in the Middle East to control access to oil and the Suez Canal. Despite Germany's initial advance into France, the Battle of the Marne halted their progress, leading to prolonged trench warfare on the Western Front. Key battles like Verdun and the Battle of the Somme marked the Western Front, while the naval Battle of Jutland occurred between the German and British fleets in 1916. Aviation, a recent invention, played a role in reconnaissance, bombing, and air combat. European colonies and British dominions, including India, were engaged in the war. Russia's offensives on the Eastern Front could not break through German lines. Allied forces attempted to open a sea supply route via the Dardanelles Strait, facing resistance from the Ottoman Empire. Italy, initially part of the Triple Alliance, switched sides in 1915 to annex new territories, engaging in offensives along the Isonzo River. Bulgaria joined the Central Powers in invading Serbia, and the Royal Navy imposed a naval blockade on Germany. The interception of the German telegram offering an alliance with Mexico against the United States contributed to the U.S. entering the war in 1917. Russia's economic instability and lack of progress on the battlefield led to the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917, resulting in Russia's exit from the war. Despite this, Germany couldn't achieve a quick victory against the Allies. The Ottoman Empire faced defeats, and Austria-Hungary dissolved due to nationalist movements reaching a truce. Germany faced dwindling resources, leading to a ceasefire in November 1918, officially ending World War I. On June 28, 1919, the Treaty of Versailles was signed, but German representatives were not invited. Germany was compelled to accept all the demands of the victorious nations, being held solely responsible for war damages and burdened with heavy compensation. Austria-Hungary and the Ottoman empires were dismantled, paving the way for new countries or colonies. Germany, facing humiliation and indebtedness, disbanded its army, and its colonies were shared among the Allies. The country reluctantly ceded approximately 15% of its territory to France, Belgium, Denmark, and the recreated Poland. Despite the consolation that Germany remained largely intact due to no fighting on its soil, its industry persisted. The imposed humiliation on Germany fueled a deep-seated desire for revenge, ultimately setting the stage for World War II.